Hard enduro is usually all maximum forward momentum. No reverse, no looking back. But it's okay to pause and reflect after a whirlwind season of this magnitude.
Hard enduro is about just riding the gnarliest terrains.
Oh, that was close!
It's a challenge to make the impossible possible.
Is he going to be overtake here? Oh! What? What?
We're all here to fight, and we're going to fight whether we're 100% or not.
Keep sucking it in, Bill, that oxygen, whatever's there.
I suffer more in these year races. They put for sure 20% more level. And if you make this mistake, everything is gone.
The FIM Hard Enduro World Championship is truly a unique beast. There's really nothing else like it in motorsports. 8 races, 8 countries, and no 2 races are even remotely the same.
1 week we're in the desert, super rocky, super hot, and then the next weekend we could be racing in some rivers, super slippy, freezing cold temperatures.
A new race is always a new challenge, but gives you also a little bit more excitement.
You have a bit of everything. You have forest, you have roots, you have mud.
It's river after river. You exit one river, go right, rock garden.
Big hills, big rocks, everything just big.
I feel like if we don't suffer, then it's not a good race, you know?
Here we are at the beginning of an exciting but unpredictable new season. Many athletes are looking lean and mean. Some can't compete, and some are ready to ride but aren't 100% healed from off-season injuries. One of them is the defending world champion.
I was pretty underprepared compared to what I would normally be for the first round of the championship. Hadn't spent a lot of time on the two-stroke with it being so close to the Super Enduro season. And then also was struggling a little bit with a wrist injury.
But there's no sign of struggle off the start. Over the loose, rocky rubble of this Israeli desert landscape, Billy Bolt holds his own against Wade Young and Mario Ramon.
Nobody really knew what to expect. We weren't allowed to walk the track. We started to arrive to the difficult sections near to the end of the race, and then they just started coming one after another after another. Not knowing the track was pretty difficult to know how to pace myself. Just went flat out because I'd lost a little bit of a time just before the difficult section. It was a little bit too hard too soon. I burned out pretty badly on the last difficult climb.
Keep sucking it in, Bill, that oxygen, whatever's there.
What's there is fiery determination. Through insane temperatures on an untested track, Bolt manages to take second at Israel's -400. But the race has taken a lot out of the defending series champ, a telling sign of what's to come. A month later, round 2 takes the series to Serbia for the X-Ross Hard Enduro Rally.
Serbia was tough, struggled quite a lot the second day. I lost quite a bit of time. A combination of trying to ride with the bike, not really 100%, but pushing super hard to try and stay with the front group. Completely emptied all energy tanks and was, feeling pretty secondhand when I got to the service point. Was just about kind of survival mode from there to get to the finish.
Survival mode usually means fight or flight. For Bolt, fleeing isn't an option. He fights it out for 4 days. And it pays off. At X-Ross, he takes the lead in the championship. Weeks later in Austria at the Red Bull Erzbergrodeo, Bolt continues to persevere on the intimidating Iron Giant. So far, he's been able to outrun those off-season injuries. Now, they're beginning to catch up with him. Despite a wounded wrist and foot, he manages to maintain first place in the World Championship. For now.
I haven't tried to hide it, I haven't tried to lie about it. I'm just not at the level which I want to be at, and I'm getting quite a lot of pain in my wrist. After this race, I'm going to take a few months off and get 100% healthy.
The race in question is Italy's FIM Hard Enduro.
Well, Billy's just dropping it now in front of us on the charge.
And he's charging through the pain. Against the beautiful backdrop of the Tuscan mountains, he brings his A game to the battle with Lettenbickler, determined to go out with style.
I'm kind of giving up my title, but I want to be racing long into the future, and to sacrifice one championship to try and hopefully win a lot more is a small price to pay, really, in the big scheme of things. But it is difficult to look at the big picture, yes.
But he'll still go out on top, leaving the series for the season as the championship leader. Halfway through the season, many of the top talent are delivering solid performances. Some aren't where they want to be. One of them is Wade Young. He finished third on the championship podium in 2021. His hopes were high at the beginning of this season, but one disappointment after another would shake anyone's confidence. Riding with ferocity, he manages to get fifth in Israel, even with a navigation error. He equals this performance with another fifth place in Serbia. But these will be his best results this season. At the Red Bull Erzbergrodeo, he gives a valiant effort trying to better it, but comes in sixth. But there's a reason why he's not performing up to expectation. And up to this point, he's been suffering in silence.
I've been having pretty much this whole year like an underlying back pain. In our sport, your body is also part of the suspension and helping the bike get up. With that pain, that intensity of movement, your mind tells you to go, but your body's restricted in a way, so it's really frustrating to say the least. More frustrating than the actual pain. But obviously, you got to just try to be careful of my health.
On the other side of pain is greatness. But knowing when to hold and when to fold in this sport is important for longevity. The elder statesman of hard enduro, Jarvis, knows this better than most. After a crushing injury in 2021, his future is uncertain. Nevertheless, the 47-year-old silent assassin enters the 2022 season adamant about making a major comeback.
Graham just helping the back wheel over. Go on now, lad. Waiting for it to grip on that solid rock. That's what it's all about.
In Israel, it just felt good to be back racing. Didn't know what to expect. Just to be competing within the top 10 is quite an achievement.
Graham Jarvis hunting that last podium position. That's a comeback. Wow.
In 30-degree heat, Jarvis handles his injury, taking third in Israel and the series right off the bat.
The knee didn't feel perfect, but since then the injury's getting a little bit better, knee's getting stronger, so hopefully I can improve on third place.
Using that momentum to his advantage, Jarvis's performance is nothing short of poetic.
Poetry in motion for Graham there. Poetry in motion.
With another podium at X-Ross, it's evident that the legend is back in fine form. But sometimes, things can take a turn for the worse in a sport full of uncertainty. Coming into round 3, Graham Jarvis is looking for his 6th Erzbergrodeo win.
Graham's bike's done something. He's picked some up.
But mechanical issues stop him from leaving the start. He's disqualified. His race is over, and he leaves this round with 0 points.
Bit of a disaster with the championship for me, the disqualification in Erzberg, but just got to pick myself back up.
This has a ripple effect. In Italy, his performance isn't up to standard, dropping him to 5th in the series and effectively taking away any championship title aspirations. But he still has something to prove going into the next race. Here, he's looking for his record-breaking 7th Red Bull Romaniacs win.
Graham, so efficient, Mr. Jarvis, so efficient.
It's all efficiency, drive, and endurance over 4 relentless days of off-road racing through Romania's unforgiving Carpathian Mountains. In the end, it pays off. For the most successful rider to ever participate in this race, Graham Jarvis accomplishes his goal.
Winning's fantastic feeling, and then the more you have to fight for it, the better the feeling that is. And younger riders getting fitter and better, and more competitions. Winning Romaniacs was definitely a big highlight of my career.
One of the young guns getting fitter and better is Bulgarian Teodor Kabachev.
I'm quite happy compared to last year. I can clearly see an improvement. Some of the races I did really good. Others I made still beginner mistakes. The 2 second places I made in Serbia and Romaniacs, those were my highlights this year. Once you know that you can battle and go for the win, then your confidence rises a bit and you see the opportunity.
Teo Kabachev isn't the only one to have a successful Red Bull Romaniacs. It's also a major turning point for Mario Roman. By taking 3rd place at the race, he catapults himself ahead of Bolt to take the championship lead for the first time. His extremely consistent season kicks off on a high note at Israel's -400.
Mario opting to go for the more solid rocks there. Maybe it's a good risk. Pretty big hole on the other side, though. Whoa! Just in case you want to see how big the hole is, he just jumped across.
The risk pays off, and he takes the all-important first win at round 1.
We started the championship really well with the one in Israel in the first round. Then we arrived to Serbia with good expectation. But then 5 minutes from the start in day 1 of road, I broke my toe. After that, I had to survive, get as many points as possible for the championship. And then, yeah, for sure I was suffering a lot to be able to finish the race. It was a very challenging race. I was able to rest 15 days and train 1 week before Erzbergrodeo.
It's the first Red Bull Erzbergrodeo since 2019, and for the hundreds of riders taking part, it's just as savage as ever.
The race started so crazy, like always, with a lot of dust in the start. I lost a lot of positions, but then I took my pace. I tried to be easy, relax, do my own race. In the difficult sections, I start to don't make mistakes. I start to overpass some riders.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Mario Roman down there. Manny is up there. He's almost up around the rock.
I was battling for the win until the end with Manny.
In the exciting final push, Roman closes in on Lettenbickler, and the two go toe-to-toe in the season's first big battle for a win.
We were so close, so next year I will try.
But a second-place finish at the Iron Giant is an unreal achievement in a race where few finish. And that motivation helps Roman carry his drive into Abastone. Even with a less than desirable starting position, the Spanish rider gets to work.
What a mega section. That is proper hard enduro, that.
Propelling himself into third. Roman follows his mega third place at Red Bull Romaniacs with another bronze medal performance in the US at Red Bull TKO. This solid succession of podiums puts Roman in the series lead, but only a single point ahead of his championship rival, the mighty Manny Lettenbickler. You never know what's in store in this sport. You'd think missing the first race of the championship would have a negative effect on the rest of a rider's season. After missing round one due to injury, Manny Lettenbickler thought his championship might be over before it began. This couldn't be further from the truth.
First time in Serbia, so super cool. I wasn't quite sure how to go into this race because I didn't really rode that much before and I was super nervous as well. Also a little bit jump into the cold water because it's a pretty long race. You can easily make a mistake and maybe go like a big step backwards.
But for this guy, backwards isn't an option. With a comeback of epic proportions, Manny Lettenbickler takes his first big win of the season.
Yeah, it was a pretty emotional win as well for me. I think it was even the same as my World Championship title in 2019, so blessed with this comeback.
But X-Ross is just the beginning.
Now everyone is kind of expecting that I'm gonna do good at Erzberg, but at the end I'm still missing so much riding time compared to the other guys. I said to myself, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. I was definitely more focused at the start than the years before. I just had a good feeling then out of the start because I had a good start and then it was just all out until it finished.
What? I've never seen anything like this before.
I knew that the guys are riding pretty good and Myros was pretty close to me in a couple of sections, so I had to dig deep. The race is never over until the finish.
And what a finish it is. Manny Lettenbickler takes his first ever Red Bull Erzbergrodeo win.
You definitely want to win Erzberg one time in your career, so we can take it out of the bucket list, so pretty good.
And it didn't stop there.
Astounding!
Lettenbickler continues to dominate at round 4 in Italy, taking his third win in a row, the most consecutive wins for any rider this season. Where once a championship lead seemed out of reach, now Lettenbickler is in the fight for first in the series, and Red Bull Romaniacs is looking promising.
Guys, this is unreal. Manny is actually half a lap up on them already at this point.
The three-time Romaniacs champ is off to a fantastic start until he busts his clutch. He receives outside help to fix it. Because of this, the FIM jury gives him a 2-hour penalty. The remaining days are all about damage control, looking for as many series points as possible to keep him in contention. And he manages to pull it off. Going into Red Bull TKO, Manny is only 3 points behind first place Roman in the series. Then, at Tennessee Knockout, he's hit with an injury, but fights through the pain.
The confidence definitely goes down if something is wrong with the body, you know? Like if you want to put the foot down, you can't really ride like you want to ride. It definitely affects you in your mindset, but at the end, I think I managed it quite good and I was actually pretty happy at the end, and I think a second place was definitely well done because Tristan was just riding really good, so I was pumped about my result.
The second place result puts Lettenbickler only 1 point behind Roman as the series heads to Canada for the penultimate race of the season.
At this point, round 7, between Mario and Manny, it's so important that they both get a good result, and then it's down to the wire in Spain. Them guys aren't going to back off because I think they can score some good points here, so they're going to be calculated as they can. It could be determined here, but it's going to take a mistake from one of those riders, and I don't think they're prepared to do that right now. I think they're all in till Spain.
The rolling Badlands of Alberta are home to Red Bull Outliers. Riders gallop from the gate. Manny Lettenbickler is left in the dust. He recovers quickly and finds himself in the top 3 behind Mario Roman and Canada's own Tristan Hart. After only a few minutes, the trio set a different pace. This race brings us the single most intense battle we've seen all season. It's a constant back and forth between Lettenbickler, Hart, and Roman. Every time one rider gets an advantage, another is right there to take back the lead.
He's up, he's in! So that's Tristan going back into the lead. Manny's out right. Mario's got through as well, no way.
Then Roman makes a crucial mistake.
It was not the best result in Canada. I tried really hard, but I made one small mistake middle of the way.
This allows Lettenbickler and Hart to create a sizable gap, a gap that Roman can't close.
But let's see how this goes. Is he going to be overtake here? Oh! What? These guys have been battling.
It was such an intense battle with Tristan what we had, and it was, I think for myself, it was probably one of the hardest battles I ever had.
They battle back in fourth. A tug of war that leads up to a nail-biting finish.
Oh, it's got swirly. He's in front and dusted him.
Dusted, but not done. This ferocious battle continues right down to the wire. In the final section of the race, there's only 8 seconds between Lettenbickler and Hart. Manny is first to the final climb. Hart is right behind him.
Is he going in one? No! Can Tristan make this? Manny, what is he gonna do?
Manny makes a snap decision, finds a better line, and completes the climb to take the Red Bull Outliers title. Seconds later, Hart crosses the finish line. Minutes after that, it's Mario Roman in third. With this win, Manny Lettenbickler now takes the championship lead from Roman, but it's only by 4 points, and there's no telling what might happen as the series moves back to Roman's home soil for the final race of the season.
I am quite happy with the season. I've been really consistent, trying to be always in the podium to get the good points for the championship. I think I make one step forward than last year. That's my goal, try to be better every year. I am already thinking on next year, how I'm gonna prepare, how I'm gonna train to be even better than this year.
It's been an awesome, great year again. Like, we had some new races, we raced some cool race venues again, we went into some cool countries. I won like 4 out of 6 races what I have done, which is unbelievable, and I never expected it, like, after my injury. So for sure the title is just the top.
The final hard enduro of the season is known as the Lost Road. In the end, one rider will find all the glory. Roman has a difficult task at hand. Because of a poor qualification result, he'll start 9th. Lettenbickler will start 1st. Right out of the gates, the German rider is a force. Roman navigates his way through the pack to catch Lettenbickler.
Vamos, Alfred, vamos.
But it's not enough. Manny is unstoppable. After another flawless performance, Manny marches towards his 5th win of the season and the ultimate prize.
Looks like we've got Manny in now. Lit her up.
In the end, Manny Lettenbickler earns his place in hard enduro history. He takes first at the 24MX Hispania Hard Enduro, and he is the new FIM Hard Enduro World Champion. Mario Roman fights his way into the finish in second.
Emotions are over the moon right now. Like, the year was so tough at the end, like coming back from this injury, and in the middle of the uphill, like parked in and rode out, and I was like, oh man, we made it. We just made it, and it was probably one of the best feelings in my career again, so yeah, stoked.
I give everything in the track. I think I rode almost better than ever. I know how to train and how to be better for next season, so I will be better hopefully next year.
Graham Jarvis finishes 5th at this race, and he will round out the World Championship podium.
I never expected to be on the podium at the end of the season. You know, coming back from an injury, just get back into it, get fit. Definitely coming back in the Jarvis team, bigger and better.
When all is said and done, Manny Lettenbickler is the 2022 FIM Hard Enduro World Champion. Mario Roman takes 2nd, Graham Jarvis is 3rd, and young gun Teo Kabachev earns himself 4th on the championship podium. This story is far from over. It will keep moving forward in a sport that's growing, changing, and becoming more electrifying with every race. 2022 has been captivating, and there will be much more hell-raising, hardcore racing at the 2023 FIM Hard Enduro World Championship.